Everyone. Thanks again for joining me for another session here. I really appreciate you watching my videos from home, and I'm glad that a lot of you have expressed your gratitude for the videos and have found benefits from them. Today I designed a class mostly just to wake the body, the entire body, with a little more focus on strengthening and opening the shoulders as well as the arms. So will be maybe compared to some of the other classes a little bit stronger of a practice. So we'll make sure to stay focused and have a nice warm up so that we get the blood flowing before working on some of that strength. So when you're ready to begin, find a seat cross-legged on your knees or whatever way we can sit comfortably for a couple minutes just to be able to center ourselves and bring our focus inward and toward the practice. And when you've come to a seat, just for a moment, close your eyes and bring your attention to the breath, just the natural rhythm. And also take a moment to set an intention for the practice of staying focused and fully committed, even in the stronger poses. Of course, listening to your body, but also bringing the awareness into the practice that you can always hold strong positions longer than you think you can. And doing so, you'll build the feedback loop between your muscles and brain, which will help your body remember that it's actually stronger than you think it is. Because part of a tissue's strength is directly correlated to memory, not just a muscle. And with your focus on the breath and commitment to the exercises, the asana, gently open your eyes and we'll come into a warm up. First, inhaling the arms wide to the sides and overhead and at the top, reaching through the spine and drawing the arms and shoulders a little upward, bringing the palms together and exhaling to the heart center. And continue that on your inhale, focusing on reaching wide with the hands and also at the top, extending a little further by reaching the shoulders, the shoulder blades up along the spine, and exhaling to the heart center. Inhale a couple more times at your pace of breath. Maybe incorporating the upper spine a little bit by bringing your gaze up to the hands at the top of the circle. And on your next exhale, bring your right hand to the side. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, start to side bend over to the right. And you can slowly adjust yourself by walking the right hand out to your ability or how far you want to go into the side stretch today. And take a couple rounds of deep, mindful breaths here into the lower left abdomen as well as expanding through the floating ribs of the left side. And focus on keeping your chest open. Exhale, use your core to come up and a little support with your right hand. Bring your left hand down. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale, start to side bend over to the left. Next exhale, come up to center. Interlace your fingers in front of the chest. And on an inhale, flip the palms to the sky. And again, reach through the arms and a little through the shoulder blades, reaching up to extend the spine. And on your exhale, bring the arms forward while exhaling fully through the abdomen and flexing the spine backward. Inhale, forward and up with the chest and arms. And exhale, reach forward, reach through the hands and arms, and also flex the spine back. And a few more at your own pace of breath. And your next exhale, bring the hands down. Roll your feet out to one side and come into tabletop, where we'll set up for tiger pose. So have your knees roughly under your hips, wrists under the shoulders. And with your next inhale, reach forward with your right arm and lifting your left leg off, straightening and working towards roughly a straight line through your arm, lifted arm, torso, hips, and back leg. And we'll hold here in balance for several breaths, resting if you need it. Feel any discomfort in your balancing wrist or your knee, take a rest or readjust by putting a blanket under your balancing knee if you have tender knees. I'll just hold a little extra longer so anyone has time to challenge themselves to their ability. On your next exhale, bring hand and knee down. Rest for a moment. In child's pose, have your knees together in hare's pose or wide in standard child's pose. Reaching the hands forward, walking along the mat to reach and feel a release along the upper spine and the muscles in the thoracic region. Walk your fingers back towards you. Press the hips up and set back in tabletop for tiger on the other side. Your next inhale. Reach forward with the left arm and lift the right leg off. Support your wrist, balancing. Make sure you're pressing somewhat evenly through all corners of your hand and widening and activating each finger. Try to keep your hips square towards the ground and the front as well, so you're not uneven. That'll help you keep even balance on your knee and your wrist. To rest when you need it if you feel any discomfort in your wrist or knee, readjust with a blanket or giving your wrist a little break. On your next exhale, lower your hand on your knee. Tuck your toes towards the front now, and then straighten through the back leg. And we'll start to straighten through your right leg. And we'll start to rock back and forth on the balls of your feet. You continue warming up the wrist as well as the back of the right calf now. Place your right knee back down and do the same back and forth motions on the left side. Straighten through both legs now, holding plank just a moment. Making sure your fingers are wide, activated, pressing through all corners of the hand as you press away into the mat to lift the hips up and away into downward dog. Holding statically here or making any sort of movements or adjustments you want to flow a little bit as you warm up the back of the body. And then look forward. Start to tiptoe to the top of the mat and a forward fold. Knees generously bent before sort early in the practice. Gently warming up the hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, bend a little more into the knees as you lift the hands up overhead, gazing upward, and coming into a slight back bend from your chest, your upper thoracic region. And exhaling to the heart center. And down to the side. And we'll continue to warm up the feet a little bit here. We'll just be rocking forward and back on one foot at a time, where you roll forward, rolling the toes backward and under your feet, and feeling a nice stretch on the top of your toes and the top of your arch and knuckles. And then rolling back and flexing the heel so your feet come up to Activate a little bit along the muscles along the shin. And just rocking back and forth like that for a few rounds. Other side. When you bring the toes up, really try to also spread through each toe. So you're activating the shin and calf muscles, but also really waking up the toes. Step back to the top of the mat. The feet together are just apart. Udasana. On your next inhale, bend slightly into the knees. Bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, stay extended in your spine as you reach forward and hinge over the hips. To a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, knee to the ground in a low lunge. Inhaling the arms up next to the ears. And on your exhale, you can either stay here or if it's available for you, bring your right knee to the outside of or your right elbow to the outside of your left knee for a twist. And try to stay straightened in the spine here so you're not punching forward or back. And applying a little gentle pressure simultaneously with your knee into your elbow and elbow into the knee to release a little further into the twist with each exhale, but not wrenching yourself into the stretch, slowly releasing, mostly with spaciousness from your abdominal region. And to go further into twists, it can really help to focus on exhaling quite fully. On your next inhale, face forward and reach back up with the arms. Exhale, cartwheel forward. Straighten your back leg. Step back into plank. And slowly lower to the ground. Hands next to the upper chest. Inhale, activate your back muscles to lift off the ground. Then press in, hug the elbows in, shoulder blades down and towards each other on the back. Pull the mat a little towards you, then pull the chest forward. Exhale down and press up into plank and away into downward dog. Gaze forward and work your right foot to the top of the mat, dropping the left knee or low lunge. Inhale the arms up next to the ear. Taking this variation, bring the hands next to the heart in Pranavasana. And bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee or twist to the right. Go back to the front with the chest. Inhale the arms up again. Exhale, frame the front foot. Come up, straightening your back leg and pulse back and forth until stepping up with the left foot into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down. And inhale all the way up with the arms overhead. Exhale to the heart center. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale to the center and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, press into your shins on the ground. And this time, step your left foot back. This time for a high lunge. Taking the gait of your feet roughly hip width, aligning your front knee and heel, and straightening through your back leg as much as you can. Press down through the back heel to increase the opening in the groin. And when you found your alignment, raise the arms up next to the ears. And again, we'll do a twist here, but you can also stay here if twist is too much. But if you're taking a twist, you can bring your hands to the heart, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And as you do this, try to keep the alignment of your hips and legs for the most part. And then again, simultaneously, a little pressure pressing between your elbow and your knee at the same time. Each exhale, maybe going a little deeper into the twist. Slowly release spine, helping with your hands if you need to. Inhale, the arms up next to the ears. And exhale, frame the front foot. Straighten for just one moment through the right leg. Bend back into the front knee. And step back to plank. And lower down through chaturanga to the ground. Coming up into cobra, remember to activate your back muscles first. And then pressing gently up. Exhale down to the ground. And press up to plank or tabletop and up and away into downward dog. Gaze forward and step your left foot. Setting up for high lunge on the other side. Inhaling your arms up next to the ears. Remember to straighten and activate through the back leg. So you press a little more weight through the back heel to open up the groin further. And stay here, or you can take the twist over to the left, keeping your leg alignment and the activation you had before in the back leg. Slowly come out of the twist, helping with your hands on your leg. Inhale the arms up next to the ears. Exhale to the heart center and start to pulse back and forth a bit until trying to hop up to the front in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale all the way up with your hands. Exhale to the heart center. And hands down to the side into that Asana. Arms up overhead again. A little more and reach up with your arms and shoulder blades by sliding the shoulder blades up the spine of it. Exhale. Inch from your hips and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with your right foot. And pivot the foot so it's a 90-degree angle with the front foot for warrior two. Bringing the arms up straight. Lining your front knee and ankle. And readjusting torso so it's over the center line and activating your glutes a bit to press the hips and the groin a little bit forward, more of an opening, to also help fight the urge for your front knee to cave inward. On your next inhale, slide the right hand down the back leg and bring the left arm overhead for proud warrior, keeping the alignment of your legs as much as you can. Exhale, cartwheel forward and bring your hips back to the front. Step your left foot back. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, stacking your right foot on the left for side plank. And it's a bit much weight for your wrist to bear. You can also try holding side, another variation of side plank here, forearm plank. Try bringing your forearm perpendicular to the mat here and resting on your forearm and elbow if that is more comfortable for your wrist. You can try both. You also get a little different exercise. Straightened arm is a little more strengthening on your triceps, and forearm plank seems to work slightly different muscles. I'm no expert, but I learned something once. And hold for several breaths. You can hold longer than you think, but rest if you find yourself dipping or having poor form or any pain. Roll back to the center, either on your elbows if you were doing forearm plank or in regular plank, and then lower to the ground. And now either bring your elbows straight out from the chest in a cactus shape or straightened completely. And come up onto your right hand and start to press in with your right hand to roll. To first stack your right leg on top of the left and then slowly bring it backward, maybe touching the ground with the tips of your right toes, to finally find your sweet point of this stretch. As the further you release your right leg back, you'll feel an intenser stretch along your left arm, shoulder, and upper chest, and maybe parts of the upper back as well on the opposite side. And readjusting or coming out gently if you feel any pain along the spine or compression. And now, slowly, release from the stretch, bringing your right leg back over and down to the ground. Rest for a moment in crocodile. Then place the hands next to the chest and press up through plank or tabletop to downward dog, and we'll set up for that sequence on the opposite side. Face forward, step your right foot between the hands and set up for warrior two on the other side. Roughly aligning your front knee and heel. Stay active through the back leg as well, so you're pressing out through the heel and the outer edge of the back leg. Gaze out over the right fingertips. Keep your groin pressing forward, knee fighting the urge to cave inward. Next, inhale, slide your left hand down the back leg. Crab warrior. Big inhale into the right ribs and side body. Exhale, cartwheel forward with the hands framing front foot. Step back into plank, and then roll over, stacking your left foot on top of the right, taking whichever variation of plank you are, regular plank, side plank, or forearm side plank, based on how your wrist is feeling. You need it. Sure you're not sagging in the hips. Roll back to the center or set back up in regular plank if you were resting, and slowly lower to the ground. And we'll set up for that shoulder stretch on the opposite side. So bring your arm out into a cactus, elbow either straight out or ideally just forward. Come up on your left hand or fingertips and gently press your left leg to stack the right, and then slowly keep reaching back with that leg, maybe touching tiptoes on the ground behind you and slowly adjusting into your degree of ability. Breathe into the shoulder. Slowly start to roll back towards the center. Your right arm in and resting in crocodile for a moment. This time gazing out to the other side. Press your torso up, come back to your knees. And we'll set up for puppy pose. And this one, you can either sleep on the ground or if you're craving to be off your knees. You can also try this one on a wall. I wish I had a good wall to demonstrate on, but sort of intuitive. You can stand roughly an arm's length away from a wall and sink down like this, and maybe adjust the distance of your leg from the wall and how far you want to sink into it. Just a standing puppy pose or on a tabletop. So walk back a little bit on your mat so you have space, walking back on the knees. And then start to walk forward with the hands, almost straightening completely, and sinking your chest and chin towards the ground. If that's intense on your arms, you can also have the elbows dropped and then sink. And that one actually is, if you want to work on the shoulders, is even a little bit more of a shoulder heavy stretch. This one releases the chest more as well as parts of the shoulder. We'll hold here for several breaths. Slowly press the chest up, back way, and then walk the hands in to tabletop. Straighten through both legs, plank. Press the hips up and away into downward dog. And then walk forward into forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, slight bend in the knees and bring the hands high overhead. Exhaling to the heart center. Back to the side. And now we'll work into Nataraj Asana prep, or dancer's pose, or actually called Lord Shiva's pose. So first, we'll bring our balance onto our right foot and focus on having sort of those three corners of balance equally in your foot, from the heel to the pinky toe side to the pads of the big toe. And then bring your left foot up towards the buttocks. Grab the left ankle or top of the arch. And then activate your glutes a little to press the hips forward, and you'll start to feel a little more stretching and activation along the left groin and thigh. And if this is enough balance work for you, you can hold here, or you can start to put a little athletic bend in your right knee and start to bring your weight forward as your left knee and leg raise up, simultaneously pulling on your left foot while kicking away into the hand. And then raising your right arm upward, coming into a slight back bend while you're here. But even if you're wherever you're at on this journey in the pose is fine. You're getting a lot of balance work, whether you're getting into the full opening or not. Wherever you're at, just play around for 7 breaths. Because I'm sure I don't even look that graceful either. So I'm no dancer and I'm no Shiva. That's what a cowboy told me once. Slowly come back in with the knees, straightening the left foot down to the leg, to the ground. And we'll come into the other side. Bring in your balance onto the left foot, finding the corners of your feet for a nice base. Hug your right foot up towards your buttocks. First, for a little stretch, press your hips forward. Feel a little stretch down your right thigh. And then with a athletic bend in your left knee, start to bring your weight forward while kicking away into the hand into the foot, and left arm up. You can, and hold for 7 breaths. Exhale, slowly come back to neutral, dropping the right foot, resting into Tadasana. Widen your feet, and we'll make our way to sitting in any way you can. And if you want to challenge yourself by trying to lower as much into Malasana, the yogic squat, you can. Just challenge yourself by seeing how low you can get before you need to assist yourself down onto your bum. Come onto your seat. Set up for boat pose. And so slowly start to lean back with your torso until you feel your abs activate. And then lift your feet off the ground, finding that balance point on your bum and tailbone. Feet hovering in line with your knees. Try to keep from hunching too much. It's a little harder, but lean back a little more so you can roll the shoulders open. And straighten through the legs and slowly, bit by bit, lower back and calves to the ground. Knees in, pull up circles along the spine, lower back. And then put your feet to the sky, reach in from the inside to the outside of your feet. And gently tug down on your feet for an opening in the groin and happy baby. And you can be playful here and keep rolling around or any sort of little motions you want. You release the clasp of your feet. One more activating pose here. Bring your soles of your feet together, knees out to the side in butterfly, palms down by the side, facing the ground for a little support. And we'll do 5 pulses up here in a butterfly bridge. Remember to activate your glutes, keep the groin open, and to keep the knees from caving in, you want them open so we get groin, keeping the groin open while activating the back muscles here. So on your next inhale, press the hips up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale, inhale, exhale, breathe, inhale, exhale, and last one, inhale, but hold at the top. Try to hold for 5 or so breaths. The groin and knees open. Maybe shuffle your shoulder blades closer towards each other along the back for a little more chest opening while we're holding here. Exhale, slowly lower down to the ground. Shuffle your legs out long, setting straight away into still asana. First, we'll scan the body to relieve any tension you're holding. First, bringing your attention to the forehead and your eyebrows, releasing those muscles. Release the areas holding your eyeballs. Just let them sink down into their sockets. Release your tongue, hang heavy, bottom of your mouth. Release your jaw. Relax down through your neck, and upper back and shoulders. Sink to the floor, your upper arms, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Now bring your attention to your upper back, relaxing and releasing down to the earth. Your upper back, your mid spine, and your lower spine. Release any clenching down through the hips and the groin and the glutes. Relax through the thighs, knees, calves, down through your ankles, feet, and toes. Relax, relax. Slowly start to come back to normal awareness. Awareness of your surroundings, air touching you, lovely person next to you. Start to wake up your fingers and toes. Reach long overhead. One last slow, full body stretch. Exhale your hands down and slowly In your own time, roll to one side, supporting your head with your hands on your side. Your own time, making your way up to a seat with the eyes closed and the hands of prayer. With your hands in prayer, for a moment, reach up to the sky for a moment of gratitude to the practice of yoga, as well as your God or divinity or any teachers in your life, and down to the heart center, bowing for a moment of gratitude to yourself for practicing, and bring the hands down now to the earth for a moment of gratitude to Mother Earth. Back to the heart center. Gently open the eyes. Namaste, and thank you for practicing with me today. Have a beautiful day.